Welcome back to Straight Up Facts. I'm your host, Robert Smith, and today I would like to talk about why I think proper nouns should not have synonyms. This is actually something I've thought a lot about, and it kind of aggravates me because it makes no logical sense if you really bake it down to what it is. And a proper noun, in this instance, the example that I will be using is Germany. I am using a synonym of a proper noun that it shouldn't exist, okay? Because the country's name is Deutschland. They have named themselves Deutschland. In fact, it's the Uble Republika of Deutschland, okay? And it seems every country has given it its own name. And that logically makes no sense. Because in America, we call it Germany. In Italian, they call it Germania. In Norway, they call it Saksa. Or Finnish. In Polish, it's Niemcy. French is Allemagne. So they've given them a super depressing name, of course, as is the French. And Spanish is just a spicier version of the French, Alemania. So I know what you're thinking. It's like, well, other places have got, other names for United States, like Unito, Stato, or something, right? I'm ignorant. I'm not gonna lie. But what if you were like, hey, Robert, my name is Tim. And I was like, oh, hey, Matt, how are you doing? And you were like, no, Tim. And I'm like, hey, Derek, come check out this dude named Matt. And he's like, oh, David? And I'm like, yeah, Matt. And you're like, that's literally not my name. None of those are the same name. How are you all in agreement on this? And then I bring over a third guy, and he calls you like Steven or something. And we're all just like, Matt, David, Steven. And you're like, it's Tim. It's one syllable. How are you messing this up? And I'd just be like, well, that's just what we call you. That's just what we call you. That logically makes literally no sense. I don't know if it was like after 2 world wars we just had enough shit and we were just like, you know what? We're just going to call you whatever we want to call you. We're gonna, and I get, the whole defense behind calling it, like, after the people that were there, the Germanic tribes, or whatever. But if I go through a legal name change, like, as a civilian, as a person, if I go through a legal name change, and then you call me by a different name, that was never my name, or was my name, that doesn't make any sense. I've legally gone through the process of changing my name. It's like calling a woman by her maiden name after she's gotten married and showed that I don't want to be called that anymore. I want to be called by the new name. Okay? It legitimately, like, what ass backwards thinking do you have to have? But for literally everyone to have a different name for you, and for you, it's almost like it's your responsibility for you to keep up with all these names that are not yours, but are synonyms to your name, a proper noun. It's not like, having a synonym for any other common noun, like a buggy or a cart or the end piece or a cushy. It doesn't make sense for a proper noun to have a synonym. And this even comes down to, like, fast food places. Like, in the South, they call a grocery store a Kroger. But in the North, they call the same grocery store a Turkey Hill. For what purpose does that solve, other than to confuse and help you identify who the Northerners and Southerners are? They do the same thing with Hardee's and Carl's Jr.'s. They literally slapped the same stupid-looking star up there who's stoned out of his gourd. And they're like, I know we bought this new chain, and we're gonna edit the way it looks, but we're gonna let you keep the same name. That legitimately makes no sense. I can get the whole keeping the customer base thing, but overall, it's just confusing. It doesn't make sense to have proper noun synonyms. It's a proper noun. That's just what you call it. That's what you call them, him or her, they, it. That's what you call it. It'd be like calling the Leaning Tower of Pisa like a tilty boy or something. Like, it doesn't make sense. You can call it that all you want, but it doesn't make sense.